Well, hello everyone and welcome to the new and improved PBG podcast. And I'm your host, April, better known as PBG Sweetness, and I would like to welcome my co-host and newest member of the PBG family. You're supposed to say something.
Is that my cue in?
That would be your cue in.
Hello everyone. I'm Charlie, also known as Chef Death on Xbox Live. It's a pleasure to be here doing the podcast with you, Sweetness.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to have you. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I've noticed it's a little crazy. I'm trying to wrap my head around all this stuff still, considering how many tournaments that PBG has. I'm not doing a very good job at keeping up on it while trying to balance all this stuff. Like I was talking to you before, dropping all that money at GameStop, buying Halo 4 and Far Cry 3 and everything. So I'm trying to balance keeping up on what's going on with PBG as well as playing way too much multiplayer lately.
Yeah, I hear that.
I think I'm giving myself a brain aneurysm, is basically what I'm trying to say. Speaking of tournaments, Sweetness, I heard that we had the awesome tournaments of the Premium tournament and then the 4v4 Gamecom tournament, right?
Yes, we did. We definitely had the 1v1, which apparently went by pretty quick, actually. And it was definitely, in the final round, it was against SAS Big D and I Have No Life from Renegade Gamers. And apparently quite a few people actually tuned in to watch. So, but I Have No Life apparently pulled out the win. So I heard it was a pretty good match. I didn't get a chance to watch it though, cause I was, dealing with the 4v4 team tournament for the GameCon.
Right. I would have liked to have seen that as well. How long was that 1v1 match? Was there a time limit?
I believe it was 10 minutes. I think it was a 5-minute 1v1. I can't remember the rules. I'm so bad. And I work for Payback Games and I don't even know how long the match was. No, that's horrible. Shame on me.
Shame.
I know.
What was it? Was it hardcore FFA? I'm guessing that's what it was?
No, it was core. All tournaments will be ran core because that is a pro circuit standard. So.
Wow.
There is no hardcore in the competitive gaming world.
That kind of surprises me. I probably should have known that, but at the same time, too, it seems like hardcore would be the go-to.
Nope. Actually, hardcore is very easy.
How do you figure? Why don't you explain that to me? Because to me, it seems like hardcore absolutely not easier than core.
Actually, no. Hardcore is very easy. It only takes just a couple bullets. I actually play a lot of hardcore because I really don't want to waste like a billion clips to waste into someone on core. Plus I don't like all the stuff in the middle of my screen, like the HUD, the UAV HUD that's in the corner and then the little hit markers. I don't like having that stuff in my way. But it does cause, for more campers on hardcore, which you do notice. In core, people don't camp as much. But core actually does require more skill. If you don't have the right gun loadout, yes, you're gonna use constant clips like normally I do. So I will sit there probably with an LMG and rocket launcher. But that's just me. I don't claim to ever be good at core. I can play it if I have to.
You do that on hardcore though. You have a rocket launcher on hardcore, don't you? Because I remember playing Search and Destroy with you. I was behind you when we spawned and you would take out your rocket launcher and shoot rockets randomly into the other side of the map. And I was like, is this right? Like, because there's friendly fire. So I was kind of baffled by it. I was like, what?
There is nothing like getting that small kill across the map, blowing up a white van and killing about 4 people on the other team. And all you hear in the revenge chat is them cussing up a storm, being like, no way. And it's great.
Oh yeah, especially
I love that feeling of picking off boys on hardcore. I think it's fun.
Especially Search and Destroy because the team size is only 5, correct?
No, on hardcore search and public matches it's 6. It's 6 on 6.
Okay, so even 6 on 6. If you get 4 right off the bat, and you still got your 6 to only kill 2, because then you win the round.
Pretty much. And to me, if I happen to die and I had already killed those 4 people with a rocket and they tell me to put it away and I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't stand by a van that can easily be exploded.
Yeah,
you know, so.
Have you killed a whole bunch of your own teammates on accident before?
I have killed a few teammates by accident before. Normally with a Semtex, if I go to launch it across the map, one of my teammates will have on, extreme conditioning, so they're jamming up there. And of course, I'm cussing out my own teammate. I'm like, why did you do that? Like, why? Like, can you please not rush up there so I have a chance to, actually play more, so.
Why would you sprint off the start and run right in front of my rocket? Come on now.
Oh yeah, that too. And I know some teammates of mine, and they are people I know. It's not just random people. I don't kill random people, on purpose unless they,
sure,
happen to team kill me for no reason. I'm probably going to take my revenge out on you, or one of my teammates will. But, for the most part, if I do it on purpose to one of my own friends, I just think it's funny. And yes, I will sneak up behind them and usually blow them up. I get a kick out of it.
Well, what's really not to get a kick out of, especially when you're just like, you know what? And you just shoot them. Just throw grenades. I've killed in that match those couple of matches we played that day, I think I got 3 betrayals or team kills off throwing random frag grenades, because I'm so used to, when I do play the little bit of Call of Duty I play, I'm so used to just throwing grenades like a madman.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the tournaments,
yes,
I'm actually very interested in one of the prizes that I Have No Life won. The whole list of prizes that he won for winning that February premium only tournament.
Yeah, he got hooked up.
Was a Level Up storage center, an Xbox 360 travel bag, an Xbox Bluetooth headset, an Airform controller case, and an Xbox chat pad. But I have a question. What is a Level Up storage center? I've never heard of this before.
Well, what it is, it's like this big just storage tower. There's actually a picture of it, if you were to Google it. But on the side of it, you can actually, if you play Guitar Hero or Rock Band, you can hang up your guitar on one side. It can fit, I believe, 10 games, like, in their cases. You can also put your Xbox in it, or even your PlayStation if you happen to play PlayStation. But it just stores everything. It makes it really nice, convenient, and all nice and neat. Cause some people, they probably have their stuff all random. Unless you have OCD like I do. I totally have OCD, so all my stuff has to be all in order. But I definitely would want one of those. Like, I am a little jealous. I wish I, was able to play and could have won that. And
No
of course,
doubt
the Airform controller case, that thing looks sweet.
Yeah, it does. But I'll tell you what's even sweeter. Like, that's sweet. The fact that one guy taking on another guy, winning all that stuff in a Call of Duty match. But what's even cooler is Team Dirty winning the 4v4 GameCon tournament.
Oh, man.
Getting them GameCon X40 headsets. That's crazy.
Apparently, it was a good battle, all day with all the teams that had played, and there were quite a few teams that entered. But yeah, Team Dirty went up against, Team Syndicate. And apparently, I guess it was best out of 7 in the final round, and they were battling it out. Apparently, that last match went, I want to say, close to an hour long.
Oh,
just
wow.
battling out for the final winner.
That's crazy. That's when palms are sweating.
But yeah. So definitely my utmost congrats to Team Dirty for winning the GameCon tournament.
Without a doubt. Is all those tournaments, of course the 1v1 is just 1v1, but the 4v4, is it just deathmatch, or does PBG do different game types?
The game types that were ran were hardpoint, capture the flag, and search and destroy.
Okay.
So those are the three game types, and there were certain maps that these game types were played on. Those 3 game types are also ran on a competitive level through, all different events and in a pro circuit. Right. They're the main.
I would have very much liked to watch that 4v4 match, especially capture the flag. I don't know. When it comes to competitive gaming, I love watching because like team deathmatch is fun to play and it's okay to watch, but to me it makes it feel more like a sport, and I really enjoy it a lot more when it's the objective games like capture the flag and stuff's just going nuts and it's just crazy. And because I love when one team gets the flag almost to the capture, they're so close, and then they get killed, and then the other team grabs it and takes it almost to the capture, and it just goes back and forth and back and forth. I love that.
Yes,
That's good competition.
Yeah, I'm definitely all about objective games. I don't mind playing team deathmatch if I'm really forced into it, but team deathmatch to me, it's just about people holding one side of the map, and if you hold that one side, then people are just kind of camping. It's not fun to me. I'm a rusher. I hate sitting back. I am a little more patient to play, especially objective games now. But yeah, for the most part, I just like to run and gun and just spray people. Or even if I want to just take out my sniper, I'll use my DSR and run with it. But objective games is definitely where cap the floor. Not so much for me. I always tell people whenever they want to play it, I'm like, that is one game I will probably sit there and and get so angry with and probably rage quit. I have dashboarded a couple times playing capture the flag, but
really?
I don't mind the kill confirmed. Oh, I have one game. This other team we were playing against, it was just dirty how they were playing. And I must have gone like 4-37.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, ouch. I went like 4-37 and I had enough and I was, I just dashboarded and I was like, forget it, and just went to Netflix. I was like, I need to cool down right now.
Dashboarded. That's funny to hear you say that because I've never heard anybody rage quit and go to dashboard. Like, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube do it, but when I get mad like that, I just turn off my Xbox and I'm like, whatever, I'm done. I'm done. Flip table, done.
Oh yeah. I have broken quite a few controllers. I've actually ripped out a headset before and slammed it up against a wall.
Man, gotta be careful with them headsets because they're getting expensive these days. Can't go throwing headsets against the wall like we used to.
Luckily, the headset that I did rip out and throw up against the wall was one of the, little cheap headsets that actually come with the Xbox itself.
Oh, the $20 Walmart.
Yeah, so I got lucky with that.
Yeah, okay.
It did have to be duct taped. So there was duct tape on that headset until I bought another, an actual good headset. But of course, I'm not going to rip out an expensive headset. Wouldn't do that. And I always keep extra controllers. I actually have four controllers right now that they all do work for the most part. I haven't thrown them. So.
But the duct tape just represents a battle scar.
Oh, it does.
It's like, yeah, this headset's been through hell and back. Yeah, What's up? But speaking of controllers, I have a question for you. On your Facebook, on the PBG Sweetness Facebook page, you have a picture of your computer and your headset and your controller with the title, Heart of the Grind of Work or whatever the title or the caption is. I can't remember for sure. But your controller looks very strange. The buttons and the analog sticks. The buttons don't look so bad, but the analog sticks look to me like gel. Like really jelly, gooey, weird.
No, they're actually glow-in-the-dark thumbsticks. I needed new ones. My other ones that I had on this particular controller, because I would play so rough and with my nails, I actually dug out chunks of my old toggles. So I would have to put grippets on top of them so I'd have better grip and wouldn't be digging into them as hard. But I just ordered glow-in-the-dark thumbsticks, which are awesome. I love them. And,
they sound pretty sweet. Just the
glow-in-the-dark
sounds cool.
Oh, it's awesome. I love them when they glow. And then, of course, I replaced my ABXY button, and of course the Xbox button with all white. And then my triggers, actually I just ordered pink triggers, which they came in the other night, so now my triggers are pink.
I've never modded an Xbox. I use that term lightly, I guess, modded. I've never goofed with the buttons and everything. Is it a pain to take, cause you have to take your controller apart to put the new triggers and buttons and everything in, right? Is it a pain?
No, I think the hardest thing to actually undo is just the triggers itself, cause you want to be careful, you don't just go and, break a trigger off. So that takes a little more finesse, but everything else is really easy to replace. It's not that hard. The next thing I do want to do is get, pink LEDs, in my controller. And then, of course, I'll be getting, a custom shell for my controller. and I'll have Cave make one because we're going to start having our own custom controller shells sold on Payback Games. So
I was actually just going to bring that up because I saw that earlier.
Yeah.
And some of those look really, really awesome. I'm not a huge fan of purple, but I guess the title of this controller case is Lady Psycho. That thing looks pretty sick.
Well, see, I'm not a purple person. If it was pink, I'd be all over it.
But I gotta admit, the one that really caught my eye was the PBG Warrior.
Yes, that's my favorite. I love that.
Looks great.
That one I definitely want.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to buy one. Without a doubt. Or 10. Just to
Definitely
have them.
looking forward to those.
But the problem is that the whole controller? Or is it just a shell?
It's the shell. Actually, I think it would be, I think we were going to sell just the whole controller.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure we'd also sell the shells. I would imagine so.
Well, I asked with me, if it was just the shell, that'd be a problem. I'd buy one, and then I would just put it up on a shelf, and it would just look pretty because I'm too scared to take apart anything. Unless it's
actually not that hard to take it apart. After you undo all the screws. Well, after you undo all the screws, it's really easy. It just comes right apart, and then you just, put the top shell on, and then just screw it all back in. It really is easy. It's not as hard. The most difficult thing to ever take apart, honestly, is the Slim Xboxes, the 360 Slim. Those things are so difficult. It's not like taking apart one of the regular just 360s. Oh, there's so many more pieces, because taking off the little silver on the outside of your Slim, it's just, oh my gosh, that was a pain.
I can imagine. What'd you take it off for? I know you had that one Xbox that was custom made. Is that your Slim? Or was that?
Yeah, my Slim, I actually have, Intoro skin, on it. So the front of it, I actually designed it. So it says Payback Games on the front, my flames up top, and then underneath it says.
I love the underneath. I love it.
Yes, the chick riding a bomb, and yeah, that is the best. I do love the pinups, so it worked perfectly. But no, it's Intoro
on top. Is it because of the fan vents?
Yeah, because of the fan vents, that's why I didn't put it up top, because it would have cut out most of that. But no, I took apart my Slim because I had gotten an error on my Xbox, and basically it was just because the fan needed to be cleaned. It was a little too dusty. I try to keep dust away from my electronics when all possible. So I took it apart, cleaned it all off, put it back together, and it worked just fine, but it took me a while to take it apart. And I'm not gonna lie, I could not find the hard drive. I actually had to YouTube. I'm not afraid to admit it. I had to YouTube it how to take a hard drive out of a 360 Slim.
There's no shame in that. The first PC I built, because I used to be way too hardcore into PCs. I hate to say that because I still kind of am, but I've kind of shied away from it a little bit. But the first PC I ever built, I bought all the parts, and then I was like, okay, magic, go. So the first PC I ever built, I had to YouTube for hours trying to figure it out. So there's no shame in looking up Google or YouTube to help you out every now and then.
Oh yeah.
But an Xbox 360 Slim, I can't even imagine. Just looking at my Xbox right now, it scares me. Looking at my PC, I would totally take it apart. Just rip that thing up and put it back together, no problem. Just looking at the shell of my Xbox, I'm like, no way. Absolutely not.
And what's funny, actually, when I went to go put together my Slim, I actually had a screw missing. Was not really missing. I just didn't know where to put that one screw. So I was like, really? And that always happens, when you take something apart, or even when you're putting something together and you're like, why do I have extra pieces?
Always.
I know these extra pieces go somewhere.
And it's scary when it's something like that, like a vehicle or a computer, like an Xbox or a PC or something, because you're like, no, this is bad. I need to find out where this goes.
Yes, and you're just like, oh man. But of course I'm not gonna go and take my time to, take it all apart and, find out where that screw goes. I'll be like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, it's okay. It doesn't really need that screw. It's just an extra piece. It's okay.
Oh, I'd be so scared. I'd be like, this screw is gonna cause my luck. It'd be like I'd miss a screw and my Xbox would catch on fire over. I'd just be sitting there playing a game and it would just literally combust into flames over a damn screw. Speaking of Xbox and
I'm just waiting
games,
for it to explode now. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's been without that screw for quite a few months, so
well, I
we're
hope
doing
yours
good.
explode. Yours is pretty to explode. Mine's just black. It's whatever. It would suck though. I'd be more worried about the game inside of it, I guess, really, than the Xbox. Because Xboxes now are freaking cheap. You can get one for what, like $99? Granted, it might be the lowest gig size or whatever, but $100. Which leads me to a question: are you excited for the new generation of consoles, the new Xbox and the new PlayStation?
Well, PlayStation, I'm not a PlayStation person. Never have been. But, for the new Xbox, I don't know. I'm not really sure yet. Well, I'd have to actually play with it first and see what I really think about it. But honestly, I'm happy with my Slim. So, we'll see.
The only reason I bought a PS3 was for a select few games. Like, I went out and I actually got my PS3 as a graduation present. And the only reason I did was because there was literally like 3 or 4 games that I absolutely had to play. I wanted to play them so bad, and they were PS3 exclusives. That's the only reason I got it. And now it just sits there. Like, I'm glad I have one for if it's like my fallback console now. So if my Xbox or PC ever craps out, I have my PS3. So I'm glad I have one, but I'm not a big... Partially, I think the PS3 controllers... Well, I had a PS2. I never had an Xbox because I hated the original Xbox controllers. I know they fixed it later, but the initial ones, I remember going over to my friend's house and playing Fable, the first Fable on his Xbox, and I freaking hated that controller. Felt like I was carrying... Do you know those bricks where you go...
Yes.
And they're the rubber bricks and you drop them down, you have to try to dive down and pull them back up, and they're heavy and you work out with them in the water? You know what
Yes.
That's what it felt like I was trying to play Fable with, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm not getting an Xbox. So I got a PlayStation 2, but then the Xbox 360 came out, and I remember I was so excited because I was in class, and I was reading a Game Informer, maybe? I can't remember specifically what magazine it was, but it was a video game magazine, and it was showing screenshots of Oblivion, and my mind was blown. I was like, this game looks so awesome, I have to get an Xbox. But at that time, they just came out and it was like, well, the Xbox 360 is like $700. Don't quote me on that price. But to me, I was like, well, that, to me, as a high school student with just a super part-time job, like minimum wage, working 20 hours, I was like, that's like freaking 6 months of paychecks. How am I going to get that? Then I finally got one. And I don't know. I'm excited for the new Xbox. The only thing I'm not excited for the new Xbox is, one, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be on launch day, because I'll probably go get it at launch, because I'm an idiot anyways. But it'll be so expensive. I'm not excited for the price tag. The other thing that's kind of scaring me with the new releases is, for my Xbox, just to give you a general idea, I have it connected to an actual computer monitor. And I love it, because I hate... Like, I'm weird. I hate having a big screen. Especially when I'm playing shooting games on, like, online multiplayer. I hate having to turn my head to look. I hate that. But what makes me nervous is this new Xbox. Who knows what the resolution is going to be in terms of pixels, output, video, whatever technical jargon it's really called. I'm worried I'm going to have to spend a lot of money on a new TV so my games look good, too.
Well, no, you know what? I think all consoles should be played on a computer monitor, just because and I actually do prefer playing on a computer monitor, than an actual TV. Just because a monitor can actually, it doesn't have like that lag like a TV does because of the resolution and because of its output. You know, it can keep up with it. You know, and playing on a smaller screen, you know, like a 20-inch, like monitor is perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like I play on a TV, like a tube. I play on a tube TV, and it's about, I would say like a 27-inch, you know, which is fine. You know, graphically it's not like the best, but, you know, I'm able to have my sensitivity up high and, But I remember trying to play it on the TV out in the living room, which is, I don't know, like a 50, 55 inch, HD TV. And I play on it and I'm like, oh my God, this is making me sick. It's too big. And I have to turn my sensitivity way down, and the lag on it is just bad.
I agree.
I don't like it. And I'm like, how are these people killing me? This is no way. So I sit there and I get so frustrated. I'm like, forget this. I'm going back to the tube TV. But, I definitely want to start looking into another monitor to play on, because I just prefer it. It's just so much better.
I agree. That's when I found out that I could connect my Xbox to a computer and monitor, I was so ecstatic. Specifically because, yeah, it's smaller, they take up less space, and they look great. Like, they look fantastic for like a quarter of the price of buying a damn HD TV that's too big. You can't even enjoy your game with all the lag anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I got my monitor for, I think it was like $250 forever ago, and it still looks fantastic. Runs all my games great. I love it. I just can't see myself going to, like, from this point on, I can't see myself going to a TV, like a legitimate HD TV. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I did have, I think I had about a 36 inch, and it was an HD. It was an LCD. It wasn't bad. Actually, it wasn't that bad to play on. I mean, I probably wouldn't go any bigger than a 36 inch anyways if I was playing on a TV. But as long as the resolution on it is good, then it's not that bad, but you have to get the right brand of TV. But I mean, I kind of miss that TV to play on. I won't lie. I was nice enough. I gave it to my grandma. She needed a new TV, and I was like, okay, here you go. TV's a TV. It doesn't really matter to me,
How you got your gamertag name?
Oh, Sweetness. Well, actually, I got the Sweetness because of my friends. I'm a huge sweetheart, although some people on Xbox, they're just like, you're so not sweet. And I'm like, that's only when you get on the bad side, If you're on Sweetness's bad list, I'm probably not going to be so sweet. But other than that, I am. I'm a huge sweetheart, and it's fitting for what I do for payback games. It totally works. I'm here to help the gamers, I'm here to make sure that everyone has a good experience on payback games, and that if there are any issues, I can handle it, and they can always come to me. So that's why I'm here.
Sweetness.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question. I have another. This was concerning to me, and I was going to ask you about it.
I didn't do it. I swear.
Do you own Halo 4?
I do own Halo 4, and I love it.
Yeah, okay, I went and bought it. I freaking love it, too. I'm huge on SWAT. Like, that's my go-to playlist. Have you paid attention, though, when you go on, maybe it's just me and the weird times of the day, but I tried it at different times to check it out. Have you noticed the population of the playlists in Halo 4?
Actually, yeah, I have.
And were they really, really low for you as well?
No, actually,
Really?
Anytime I would play Halo, it's usually in the evening times, and so many people are on, and they're playing it. Especially when it comes to, either Infinity Slayer or Big Team Slayer, which are the two more popular, game types. But, I mean, or even Dominion, but yeah, there are quite a few people. Like last night I got on Halo after not being on it for like a month and a half. I've been so busy. But yeah, there were quite a few people, and man, I was getting my butt kicked. I was like, okay, I really need to find the time to put my Halo in, because I actually do prefer Halo 4 over Call of Duty. Definitely.
I agree. I am loving Halo 4 right now. I just love it. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play Halo 2 all the time, because I'd play it with my friends, and, we'd have big old Halo parties and everything. And, wasn't a fan of Halo 3. I mean, I did play the campaign. I thought the campaign was really good. Halo Reach, absolutely hated. And it just was not a competitive game. I think competitively it definitely failed. But in all the little Halo games in between, I didn't play. I was like, why am I going to play that? I'm not going to download it and play
Well,
it.
there was only what, ODST? And
No, there was
the
another one
Anniversary
too.
Edition.
Yeah, I didn't play. I didn't play any of those.
I'm surprised you loving Halo 2, you didn't get the Anniversary Edition.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
You know what it was? Is because around that time also, here I am, Call of Duty 4 is out, and,
Right.
I was all over Call of Duty 4. I was putting in like 8 to 12 hours a day.
That's the
plus
reason.
working, like 6 days a week and finding time to play. It's just, I was on it constantly.
I played the other Halos with one of my real life buddies, but when I wasn't at his house playing, I was on Call of Duty 4 all the time. Holy crap. Too much. It was literally, like you said, it's like literally, I would go to school and I'd have a part-time job, and then my other part-time job was Call of Duty 4.
Yes, definitely. Oh man, I don't know how many times I get yelled at just because I was playing Call of Duty 4. Oh, it was bad. I'm like, no, but I work 6 days a week. I'm allowed to play.
Yeah. Like, God, give me a break.
I know.
I used to yell at my little sister a lot when I used to play Call of Duty 4. Cause then we didn't have wireless internet. Like, we had internet, but we didn't have a wireless router or anything.
Yeah, I was always about to hardline in and.
Yep. And
like, no, it's my turn on the computer or something, and you have to be like, alright, I gotta get off.
Separate. So we have cables, which was good. I was so ecstatic that my dad went out and figured out how to do that for me so I could play Call of Duty 4 online. But the problem is I'd be playing, and it was set up in the same room as our computer room. Like in my parents' house, there's a computer room that has the computer in the desk, and then it has like like a treadmill and some workout machine stuff. And then I would set up we had this table, and the table was sitting over my little sister's turtle tank. She had a turtle and this huge tank, and the table went over the turtle tank, and I would set up right there above the turtle. So it smelled like turtle the whole time. I used to the smell, but at first it was god awful. She would always get on like YouTube or stupid Flash games when I'm trying to play Call of Duty and suck up all my bandwidth and just lag city, and I hated it. But I couldn't bitch because every time I would start moaning and groaning, my mom and dad would be like, whatever, and they would defend my little sister. So I was like, ugh. So then, as time went on and I got more into it, I started saving up money, and I actually convinced my parents to allow me to buy my own internet for me only to hook up into my room. Loved it. It was like a godsend. So at my parents' house, there's 2 internets still. We got cable internet and DSL. Hilarious.
Oh, there's nothing worse than like DSL. Satellite. Oh, satellite internet. Oh god, that is horrible.
Anymore.
Oh my gosh. I could not play for about 8 months. I couldn't play like Call of Duty. I just couldn't get on because of the internet I had. It was so bad. I just couldn't do anything with it. The only time I would be able to get on Xbox is if I took my Xbox to like a friend's house and, they had really good internet. I was like, okay, thank God I can play for a little bit. So I'd put in as many hours as I could.
But then it sucked when you had to leave home. You're like, no,
I know, I'm like,
stay here for your internet. Adopt me just for your internet.
I know. Then it's like, I'm driving back up to like the country and I'm just like, oh gosh.
Driving back to the country. I don't know. I just pictured like you driving on a dirt road with your Xbox in a bag.
I was.
Was it a dirt road out to like a farm with cows and pastures and everything?
Well, I was actually in the middle of getting divorced and, I came back to California, so I ended up moving in with my aunt and uncle. They live up in the country here in Cali. And, if I wanted to see my friends, I would have to drive like an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours, back down to where I grew up in California. And so, yeah, it was, there was one stop sign in the whole city, like in the little town my aunt and uncle lived in. Yeah, going up the little, gravel path, and the neighbors that were across the way, they had a big old cow and in their front yard. We were just down the road,
Seriously?
had like goats. They had goats. I think they had a llama. They had some horses and everything. Yeah. It was,
An actual cow just chilling in the front yard that you would drive
Yep.
by?
Yep. I'd always see this cow and he'd just be chilling.
Jesus.
Yeah. So the internet is so bad.
Well, of course, it wasn't just DSL. You lived in the middle of nowhere. That didn't help either.
Literally middle of nowhere. Like,
Gosh.
but I mean, I actually liked it. It was very peaceful. You know, I could walk out on the front porch, see the lake down, you know, just right there. And, no, but I mean, even though I didn't have the internet, you know, that was really good. And I was playing more computer games because apparently computer games I could play, but just with the console and because my console, you know, I had a wireless router for it, but it just, it did not want to work just because the internet for there. But it's so good to have good internet. I can't tell you what it's like when you have good internet. It is like, it's like all these little, you know, like little chimes and bells goes off, and you hear people singing in the background. You know, like hallelujah. And
Angels are sprouting wings and flying around.
Great. You know, you see doves flying and. Oh man, it's a good feeling to have good internet, especially when it takes like, you know, 2 minutes to download like a huge DLC, you know, that just came out man, it's great. Nothing like that. And then you can rub it in other people's faces when they don't have good internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it only took me 2 minutes.
Yeah, you have people downloading. Oh man. Here's the worst. On that DSL internet, when I first started getting into WoW, like when it first came out, downloading WoW and patching it on that internet, holy shit. I'll never, like, it scarred me for life. Like 4 days it took to patch WoW on that old school computer on the internet connection. It was awful. It was so worth it because the game was great, but holy crap. Fun fact about WoW, this will show how nerdy I really am. The reason I got my first job as a dishwasher at a senior citizen center, not an old folks home, senior citizen center, was so I could pay the monthly subscription for WoW. Oh God. When I say it out loud, oh no.
Well, it's funny, I wasn't a big person on WoW, but I did like Warcraft 3. And I just like the strategy of it, and, you know, getting all the people together and getting a room and we're playing on certain maps and everyone picks the little points of where they're at and trying to stop hordes, and that I liked.
Are you referring to like a LAN party?
No. Have you ever played Warcraft 3?
Well, you said get everybody in a room, so I assume.
Well, no, like on the game itself.
Like
everyone just like kind of goes into whatever type you want to play.
Okay.
And you get into like a little room together, you know, and then of course you got people typing in noob all over the place when someone's using like a bad thing, and of course you're laughing. Of
course.
And, you know, but that to me was a lot of fun. I love the strategy of it. I would play that like religiously. And I need to get I want to get a new laptop so I can go ahead and reinstall it and play it again. It's been quite a while since I played it. And I started playing that back in 2002. So that's how long Warcraft 3 has been around as well. But, it's so much fun. It's addicting.
Do you like going back and playing those older games?
Oh, I do. I definitely
love it.
do. That's just because they don't get old. They really don't.
Well, they definitely do. But I see what you're saying, but like, for example, I went back, there's a website called GOG.com, which stands for Good Old Games, and what they do is they port, not necessarily port, that was a poor word choice, but they'll take these games, these older games, and sell them to you, and you download it, and you don't have to mess with any settings on your computer, any installation settings, nothing. Downloads, and it plays. Well, I went and downloaded Fallout 2. I freaking forgot how much I love that game. It's so good. But it's funny because they don't get old, but they don't exactly age well. I guess that's a better word, better scenario. But, oh my god. And it reminded me how much of a pain in the ass those older video games were. They were brutal and unforgiving. I started the game, and I started off on, I can't remember if it was just normal or like the hard setting. And I start off Scorpion in the first room. You walk down into like a little dungeon pyramid deal. First room, first Scorpion, one-shots me, dead. I have to restart, and because I didn't save or anything, I didn't have to, but I decided to watch the cutscenes and everything again. A Scorpion one-shots me. What? Hits me for like 53 damage or something and just kills me, and I was like, well, that was cute. Like, oh, ugh. Speaking of games and stuff, what is your favorite genre of video games?
Oh man. I mean, I would have to say first person shooter, and I think it's only because my first person shooter that I really got into and was really good at was Far Cry Predator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was nasty at that game. I'm not gonna lie, and I really miss it, and I really need to get Far Cry 3. Didn't really care for Far Cry 2, but Far Cry 3 I still need to get.
You need to get.
But, yeah.
I just beat it 2 days ago.
I'm jealous.
It's so good, Sweetness. So good.
That is definitely on my list to get next for sure is Far Cry 3, but
there's no
I would definitely say, first person shooters. Just because it's fun. I like to be able to, kill people on a video game. It's fun,
Well, what video games? There's very few video games. I'm sure there's a ton, but what video games really does not involve you killing someone or something?
That's true. And it does go back to, especially like Super Mario.
Yeah.
It's like you're killing mushrooms, you're jumping on them, you're
herb
killing
stomping them mushrooms.
Yeah. like old school duck hunt, you're shooting little duckies. Man, it goes way back,
That damn dog.
That dog
Everybody remembers that damn dog. You just want to shoot it, but it never, ugh. That's probably the most rage I've ever had at a video game. Was to freaking duck hunt that damn dog.
Oh yeah, and it's just like when you had some of your friends that you knew had Nintendo, because your parents wouldn't buy you one, so you would only hang out with your friends that had Nintendo, just so you can go over there and play it.
But yes,
it's the only reason why you were friends with that person, because they had a Nintendo.
It's so true. Except for mine wasn't Nintendo. Well, mine was Nintendo, but it wasn't the NES. My buddy, well, I say buddy lightly. Somebody I used to know, right when the N64 came out, they had a Nintendo 64, and I would go over to his house just to play the Nintendo 64. And my mom used to get so mad at me. She's like, you are not a good person for doing that. He's not your friend, you're only using him for his Nintendo. I was like, damn straight. I'd walk down the street and we'd play games. Ugh. But it's so true.
I wasn't a fan of the N64, like at all.
Loved them.
I wasn't a fan. Like GameCube, wasn't a fan. Sega, yes, because I would sit there and play like fighting games on Sega or Sonic. That was definitely my thing. But Sega wasn't a very long-lasting thing for me, anyways. But yeah, still Nintendo. The original Nintendo, or even the Super Nintendo, and. Yeah, especially anytime I'm on Facebook and people are like, your childhood was great when, or like you remember when your childhood was like this and you had to blow the cartridges to make them work. Yes, man. I remember that. It was always blowing the inside of the cartridge out, and then you're like one little smack on the actual console itself, trying to make it work. Yes, those were the days.
It almost always worked.
It did.
It was like really I don't know what it was. It was probably like the biggest fluke in the history of mankind, but like 98% of the time you blow on the cartridge, put it back in, and it would work.
Yes.
I didn't have an NES.
I know, because you would go and you'd use your friend.
No, you would. I used them for the N64.
Well, exactly.
Well, okay.
And then, the NES, I didn't play the NES either, but, I played it, but still wasn't a fan. It was either,
So what consoles did you have? Because when I was growing up, I didn't have, like, I remember playing the Atari. My grandma, my grandma on my mom's side had the Atari, and then my grandma on my dad's side had an NES. And so when I'd go over to my grandma's house, I'd either have an NES or an Atari that I'd play when they were doing, like, watching football games or whatever it was they were doing. But I never owned one of those. Then I got a Super Nintendo for Christmas. Loved it. I owned that Super Nintendo. I skipped. My parents didn't get me a Nintendo 64, a Sega, Dreamcast, GameCube, nothing like that. I went to the PlayStation 1, but my grandma on my mom's side upgraded from the Atari to the Nintendo 64. So when we go over there, I would play the Nintendo 64. My babysitter at the time had a Sega, so I used to play a lot of Sega at her house. And then I got the PlayStation 2, and then now the Xbox and everything. I remember playing a game on Sega at my babysitter's house. You said you played Sega. It was a live-action, like, shooting game. You know what I'm talking about? You were like a cop.
I don't think I played that.
Oh, it was so awesome. Like, it was like a side-scrolling, and you had the gun controllers, like the peripheral gun controllers, and it would side-scroll, and you were a policeman, and you'd shoot. I can't remember the name of it, but it was so cool.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I just remember playing the fighting games, and it was like Mortal Kombat. You know, you play Mortal Kombat on there, and Sonic.
I mean, Mortal Kombat.
No, but actually, I didn't own a console until the 360, because all my friends, they all had, game consoles, and I was always at, like, a friend's house. So I'd play, on their things. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't own a console until the first 360 came out. Yeah.
So your favorite genre is FPSs.
Yes. Although, for any, like, RPG type game, it was definitely, I loved Oblivion. Oh, man, did I love Oblivion. That was such a good game. But, you know what? Dante's Inferno. I love Dante's Inferno. Such a good game. And, it's similar to God of War. That's on the PS, the PS system. Right. And God of War is a great game for the PS system, but definitely Dante's Inferno. It's great. All the layers of hell, you have to, like, try to battle it out, and it was a lot of fun.
Inferno. I've got an interesting story, as a matter of fact, about that game. When that game came out, about a week after it came out, I was sick at home with, it wasn't like the flu, but I had really bad stomach problems. So I was going to the bathroom a lot, puking up my guts. Well, my girlfriend at the time went and got Dante's Inferno for me, and I'll always remember this because I was playing it, and I went to the second or third level of hell, or whatever it was, the lust level.
Oh my
God.
Level 7.
Was that
the seventh later? Yeah. And that chick, and the little things come out of her nipples.
Yes.
That was just disturbing to me. It was like, why would they put this in a video game?
Like, I lost it. When those spew, I was like, I'm done playing this until I feel better. It was a great game, but I couldn't play it. I couldn't finish it off until, awful.
Yes, that was slightly disturbing. Still a great game, though.
Awesome. Did you use the scythe, or did you use the cross?
Well, I went through it a couple times, because you have to. You have to go through it a couple times, you have to play good at one point, you have to save all the souls, and the other time, you're just damning them all to hell.
Of course.
But it's a game that you can play more than even just a couple times, just because, you're still figuring out other things with it. And you're, even seeing probably some more things than before. I know I did after I went through it a couple times, but it's just a fun game.
I only played through it once. I always meant to go back and play through it again as the evil one. Like, you could use a combination of both, but the cross is so overpowered. I literally used that the entire game. I never took out the scythe once. Beat every boss, everything, just spamming the cross magic. It was insane.
No, I didn't spam too many people with the cross. It was only if, I really needed to get out of a jam. So if there's too many coming at me, then yes, I would totally use the cross. But other than that, no.
I would literally just run around mashing one button. I beat the game pushing one button. Like, that was it. I loved it. Just cross spam. Didn't even care. Okay, so why don't you tell us, because it's about time to start wrapping up, why don't you tell us what's coming up this weekend on PBG?
Well, this weekend on Saturday, we do have our, regular cocaine energy daily match at 8 p.m. Eastern.
That's an energy drink, not a drug.
Yes, it is an energy supplement, from the makers of Cocaine Energy. And it's quite good. I actually just finished a can right now. So I'm definitely jacked up and ready for the day. It's so good. But yes, it'll be a 10-minute, free for all. It'll either be hardcore or core, depending on what I feel like. It is free to sign up. You just had to paybackgames.com. And yeah, that's the only thing that I know of right now that's coming up on Saturday. Other than that, just be a lot of gaming. A lot of gaming.
Always. Lots of gaming.
Always lots of gaming. I will definitely be around.
I like that.
So I'll either be on Call of Duty or Halo 4. So anyone is, feel free to hit me up if you want to play. But yeah, that's about it.
I have a question for you. There's also, we have the Cocaine Energy matches. We have the gaming, baseball caps tournaments. We have obviously the premium tournaments and everything. What's this I read on your Facebook about Ladies Night?
Oh, well, I just randomly wanted to do on Friday nights, just get some girls together just to play, like Black Ops. Cause there's nothing better than having, 6 girls in a lobby and they're beating up all the boys.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So one night, me and the girls all got together. We decided to all put on assault shields. And we still 4-0'd a bunch of guys. It was great. These kids were so mad. It was bad. We were running around with assault shields and we still beat them. So.
Was this in Search and Destroy or what were you playing?
We actually were playing Search and Destroy. Yes. So it was quite humorous. And Ninja Penguin, man, she is a beast. She is known to make some boys rage quit, especially in PBG matches, which is quite funny. Some guys would get really intimidated with her in the lobby, which is always great.
Well,
anytime a girl that can make guys rage quit, especially in a competitive setting, she's doing something right. So, kudos to her, definitely. But
no doubt.
she's a beast player.
Anytime anybody can make anybody rage quit in a competitive setting, they're doing something right.
Yes.
But let's be honest. Is it because she's a girl, or is it because she runs around with an assault shield?
She can run around with anything and still, be racking up the kills. Doesn't matter what she uses. She's got so much potential, just like right there. And she's, I think she's, oh man, I don't want to get it wrong. I think she's 16, 17? No, I think she's 16. But yeah, for her being young and being such a good player, she can definitely go pro for sure.
That sounds awesome.
Oh yeah. So, but no, on Friday nights, any girls that want to come and hang out and play and, kill some boys on Call of Duty, more than welcome to hit me up.
And it's a ladies' night only, right? No boys are getting in. No men are allowed into
no men.
lobby.
No men are allowed unless they decide they want to join the lobby itself. They join the room after they see us already in a game. And they want to get pooped on. More than welcome,
Well said. Very well said.
But all right. This is definitely going to conclude the first episode of our podcast.
Yay!
And, we'll be back for another round at the end of the week. So hopefully you guys, didn't get too bored and, we still have you guys with us and you guys want to hear more.
Hopefully. End of the week. We started really late this week, so
Yeah, we did. It's been
unfortunately,
a crazy week. No, crazy
it
week,
has been
crazy
a crazy
weekend. Been
week.
so busy. But yes, we'll be coming regularly on Monday and Fridays. So keep an eye out, keep an ear out. And we're also going to be doing some live ones too. So get some of you guys in a chat, and anytime you guys have any questions, feel free to email me, which will be down in the description down below. So.
Yeah, email her. I won't answer your questions. I'll totally answer your questions. Always.
But just not the emails. He answered the questions, just not the emails, so.
Exactly.
So yes, feel free to email me if you guys have any questions or any topics you guys would like to hear from us discuss. And yeah, have a great day. Keep gaming.